just realized that there is one staple that I left off. I keep mine in the fridge, and that is our organic peanut butter. I buy mine from Costco because I like that it's organic and it has 2 ingredients, which is peanuts and sea salt. It doesn't have any of the extra oils. It doesn't have any added sugars. You just mix it up because it does separate, since it doesn't have any of those extra things in it, but mix it up, keep it in the fridge, and that is a great breakfast staple to have on hand. If you can't do the nut butters, then easily swap that out for the seed butters, whatever your dietary preferences are or your kiddo preferences are. So let's talk about mix and match combinations that you can make out of this stuff. So the first one is avocado toast. If your kiddos will eat avocado toast, that is a great option. You can do classic avocado toast. You could do protein boost avocado toast. So make some avocado toast and cook up a fried egg or a scrambled egg. Top that avocado toast with the egg. That's going to get you your full range of protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats. You could even drizzle some nut butter or seed butter on top of the avocado toast and give that a try. I've mentioned overnight oats several times. I love overnight oats. They're so simple to whip up, and they literally take 5 minutes in the evening. Pop them in the fridge and then, stick them in the microwave the next morning. But I like to make mine with almond milk and protein powder and some sort of nut butter, or, if you want to make a base overnight oats and then top it with berries or sliced bananas, or you could even top it with some apples and some cinnamon if you have that on hand. But those overnight oats are a really great breakfast staple. Smoothies. You can get super creative with your smoothies. I tend to make my son, he loves a smoothie that I make for him that has banana and spinach and protein powder, and I will throw in some chia seeds and hemp hearts and those kinds of things just to really make it really good and nutritious, fortified. I'll throw some frozen spinach in there. If I can get some organic spinach on sale at the grocery store, then I will actually take it out of the container and pop it in a baggie and put it in the freezer. And I use that this morning to make him a smoothie. You can also take your base of, a milk, a protein powder, and then add in frozen berries and spinach and mix up the seeds if you want to get those healthy fats in there, chia seeds or pumpkin seeds, or take your pick. There's all kinds of combinations there when it comes to a breakfast smoothie. And similarly, yogurt bowls. I made a yogurt bowl for my son this afternoon as a snack. So with plain non-fat Greek yogurt, I just realized that's another staple I forgot to mention from the fridge. Plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Get the full list on my blog, and don't rely on my memory. But yogurt topped with berries, some of that grain-free granola sprinkled on top. You could also do bananas and nut butter. My kid loves Greek yogurt with protein powder and some peanut butter. It makes kind of like a peanut butter chocolate cheesecake kind of mixture. So those are obviously options. You can also just do the classic eggs and toast, mix it up. Like my husband will sometimes make scrambled eggs and we'll put salsa and cheese on it. And that's, my daughter's breakfast. And she loves it. Or an omelet with eggs and ham and salsa and cheese, and that's one of her favorite things to do. So you're getting all three proteins, complex carbs, and healthy fats in that. Simple eggs and toast with berries, eggs and toast with banana and peanut butter. You can just get really creative with that combination. And then finally, if you want to take the time in the mornings to just make classic oatmeal with the rolled oats, it does take about 15 minutes. But, maybe you can do that while your kids are getting dressed, and then they come down and breakfast is ready. So again, mix that up, apples and cinnamon oatmeal, banana nut oatmeal. Classic oatmeal with a hint of maple syrup for a little bit of sweetness, or some brown sugar for a little bit of sweet. Take your pick, but you can get really creative with just having 12 staples on hand to make a really good hearty breakfast for your kid that is going to set them up for a great morning. They're going to be energized and be able to focus throughout the morning. And if you give them those protein, complex carbs, healthy fats, then that's going to keep them going through lunchtime, which for my kids is going to be about 5.5 hours this year. So let's move on to lunch staples. All right, so let's talk about healthy lunch options if you're sending lunch to school with your kiddos. I choose to send lunch to school for my kiddos because both of them have specific dietary needs that really can't be accommodated by the school cafeteria. And I'm okay with that. But let me show you what I do. I have these little lunch boxes that look like bento boxes almost that I use to send my kids food in. This obviously is going to be a main, and this might be a veggie or a fruit, but I make sure that all 3 compartments get filled up. So pantry staples that I keep on hand. I keep on hand whole grain crackers. I like the Simple Mills brand because they're gluten-free generally, and they just have a few simple ingredients in them that I can read and I can trust and know that they're good for my kids. So crackers I keep on hand. Canned beans like these chickpeas or black beans or kidney beans, I keep those on hand to put in things like pasta salads or regular salads or anything like that. Or maybe I'm gonna throw together a taco bowl for like my son. So I keep beans on hand for that. Another thing I keep on hand is quinoa or brown rice. I have a big thing of brown rice that I cooked yesterday so that we have plenty of leftovers through the week, and I can just mix and match those things together as I am looking at lunches for the week. So quinoa or some organic brown rice I keep on hand. Dried fruits. So I picked these up a couple weeks ago when I was doing a Trader Joe's run, and they have their freeze-dried berries. They also have other dried fruits as well, but I happen to like their freeze-dried berries because the strawberries are just freeze-dried strawberries. Same thing, blueberries is the only ingredient. And these mixed berries, the only ingredients are the actual berries. So I love that. It doesn't have any extra sugars or oils or preservatives or anything else. So I keep those on hand as I am, looking to make lunches. I keep some sort of pasta on hand. We use this chickpea pasta because it's gluten-free, it meets my son's dietary needs, but it also has a lot of protein in it that normal pasta doesn't have. So I feel better about giving them, this pasta vice a normal pasta that doesn't actually have any real nutritional value in it. The last thing that I keep on hand is some sort of canned tuna. I like this Safe Catch brand because they do test it for mercury every time so that you're getting a safe fish product, you're getting safe tuna or safe salmon, especially. The salmon needs to be tested for mercury levels, but it is a little pricey, so I do try to catch it on sale and stock up when it is on sale. But those are things that I keep in my pantry as lunch staple items. So let's quickly talk about what I keep in my fridge. All right, so things I keep in my fridge. I definitely keep fresh fruits and vegetables in the fridge to make lunches. So I keep cucumbers on hand. This is half of a cucumber that we've already used, but my daughter loves cucumber slices with ranch, so I keep the cucumbers. I have these little containers that I send dressing or dips in. So they're little metal containers that can go in the dishwasher, and the lid is silicone, so it can go right in the dishwasher too, and it's really easy to just pop that lid on and send dressing, homemade dressing, generally with my kiddos. I put that in their little lunch box and we're good to go. But back to cucumbers I keep little snack peppers, got these from the farm. I keep baby carrots or carrot sticks, apples, anything like that for, a side, if you will. I also keep salad greens on hand and cherry tomatoes on hand. I have some growing in the garden right now. Anything like that to make a salad in like a mason jar or to just send as a side for a main course in the lunch. Those are all really, really great options. Cheese. I prefer to buy mine block. just, again, dietary issues. I don't trust the additives that they put in the grocery store pre-shredded cheese to make sure it doesn't stick. Can't trust those with my kids' dietary issues, so I buy block cheese and I shred it. I have a little machine that attaches to my KitchenAid and does it zippity quick for me, and I have a cheese slicer. So cheese is a great option, especially if you want to make a homemade Lunchable with crackers and some sliced meats and some cheeses. Great option to have cheese. I always have that on hand. Usually I have hummus. We are out at the moment, but I tend to make my own. So I am going to make some of my own hummus later. You can check out my blog for that recipe. But hummus is a great option to replace like a mayonnaise in a wrap. If you want to get some healthy fats but also protein, hummus is a great option. I also keep the nut butters or the seed butters if you are allowed to send nuts and seeds, nut butters or nuts and seeds to school with your kids. I know some kids' schools are not allowed. They don't allow that for allergy purposes. If you are allowed, nut or seed butters are a great option. Another great option that I forgot to mention under the pantry staples is a nut and seed mix. I like this Back to Nature brand just because it doesn't have any added oils in it. It's just the nuts and some salt. So if you're allowed to use nut products for your kids' lunches, those are great options as well. Greek yogurt is another great option to use in place of like a mayonnaise. It's got lots of protein in it, or you can mix it with a mayonnaise just to get some extra protein in there. Speaking of proteins, lean proteins. If you want to do some deli meats, I prefer the Applegate Naturals meat products to sliced deli meats just because they don't have antibiotics. They're labeled gluten-free and it doesn't have a ton of the preservatives or anything else like that. So like for our family, that's a better option for a protein. Or, if you have a leftover hamburger from the night before or some grilled chicken breast that you may have made from the night before, any kind of leftover lean protein like that would be really great to put in your kiddos' lunches. In terms of things to like make a sandwich or a wrap, right? We've already talked about the Dave's Killer bread when we talked about breakfast, but that would make a great sandwich bread. For wraps, I like these Siete wraps. They are grain-free, so they are also labeled gluten-free. Keep them in the fridge once you open them, but you can keep them in the freezer. They're actually sold in the freezer section in our grocery store, but these are great options for wraps that are clean and you don't have to worry about the ingredients. If you want to go completely like grain-free and not use a bread-like wrap, you could look into these cheese wraps. We use these sometimes for my daughter's wraps. So these happen to be Parmesan. They do have cheddar, but these are great options to kind of switch it up a little bit. So those are the things that I keep in my fridge as my fridge staples to make lunches. And let's talk about some of the things that you can make with the items that we've covered. All right, I do want to give you a pro tip before we move on. If you freeze a water bottle, like a plastic water bottle, if you freeze that, you can use that as an ice pack for your kids' lunch, and by the time they get to lunch, it should have thawed enough that it will still keep lunch cold, but then they have a nice cold water bottle to drink with their lunch. So just think about that, give it a try. Let me know if it works for you. So I mentioned wrap. So you could do turkey and avocado wrap. You could do veggie and hummus wrap. You could do a chicken and quinoa and maybe some avocado. Like you can totally mix it up and give your kid a really good variety of like either sandwiches or wrap. I mentioned mason jars. I love mason jars. You could make a mason jar salad with some lettuce and cucumber and tomato and some leftover grilled chicken with a little bit of dressing in there, and that would make a really great lunch. Or you could do like a Mediterranean chickpea salad or a quinoa and black bean salad. Use those lettuce and veggies as your base and then switch up your protein. Bento box. I talked about the bento box that I used, right? You have a main compartment with like your main meal, either a sandwich or a wrap, or I will do what I call, a homemade Lunchable with crackers and cheese and a protein, either like sliced deli meats or leftover protein from dinner. And so that my daughter can make her own little like little Lunchable sandwiches, if you will, and I'll throw in some strawberries and carrots with either a hummus dip or a ranch dip or something like that. You could do pasta salads. Those are great options for lunch, and switch them up. You can make a Greek pasta salad. You can make a tuna pasta salad. You can make, a veggie pesto if you have some pesto at home. Throw in some veggies with your pasta and make, just switch it up with whatever you have on hand. It makes it really easy to kind of do lunch for your kids. Sandwiches, right? Tuna salad sandwich, chicken salad sandwich, just a plain old turkey and cheese, or whatever you've got, a veggie roll up. I like to do Nourish bowls for my kids. So I have an example here of how I might do a Nourish bowl for my kid. This is leftovers from dinner the other night. So I've got some brown rice, some taco meat, and some black beans. And so I would put a bowl together with this, maybe top it with some salsa or corn, and maybe, depending on which kid, some sour cream and a little bit of cheese, and send that in their container. And that's just leftovers for dinner. And I do that actually a lot with my son. I will make extras, and then he gets leftover dinner for lunch the next day because he doesn't mind heating up his lunch, whereas my daughter doesn't want to be bothered. A lot of different options. Again, check out the blog post link below for some of these ideas and for the complete list of my pantry and fridge staples for both lunches and breakfast. So let me know in the comments below if this was helpful for you and what you do for your kids' lunches and breakfast, because I truly am curious how other people do it. I'm always looking for to adapt and pivot and make new things for my kids, because they do get bored. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I believe you can heal your stress from the inside out.